It is the 50th chapter of the Dragon Ball Super manga, 5-0, continuing the Galactic Patrol Prisoner Arc, the Moro arc, so to speak. And this manga chapter has provided answers to many questions that have plagued us throughout this entire arc. But after seeing what happened, it does raise another question. Are these the answers we were looking for? Because I've seen a lot of polarizing opinions about this manga chapter. First and foremost, we found out how Moro escaped, how he melted the bars and got out. So we finally got to see that because the very beginning of this manga chapter takes us to the Galactic Patrol prison. But the big revelation is we find out what the third wish actually was. So we know for certain what Moro's third wish to Porunga was, and that is to free the prisoners from the Galactic Patrol prison. Now, I have mixed opinions about this because while I feel like the execution of the scene was fantastic, Toyotaro wrote it really well, great art, the way that the Galactic Patrol guards were freaking out, and I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was very interesting how they did it. At the same time, I can't help but wonder, why would he use his wish on that? If he's getting so much stronger and is so much smarter, according to him, than Goku, Vegeta, Buu, and all these guys, why didn't he just go there and do it himself if he's so powerful? That, to me, sounds like a waste of a wish, but perhaps he just wanted to rush the wish out to get a group of minions. Now, the good thing about this is I like the idea of there being an army, I guess you could say, of enemies that Moro can sick against Goku and Vegeta, and this might eventually lead to more of the cast of Dragon Ball, Goku's friends, joining the fight. Now, when we look at the actual, I guess, pan shot of the escaped criminals, or whatever you want to call them, the convicts, I'm very, very much digging these designs because they're very familiar. We've got a character that resembles Magetta. We have a character that resembles Boltamo. We have a guy who even looks like Hit. And I'm wondering if Toyotaro designed these or if they were Toriyama's original conceptions. We don't know yet because Toyotaro has more control over this arc than he has the previous arcs. And when you look at the designs, it looks like the Universe 6, Universe 7 Mirrorverse type of thing they have going on is stronger than we thought, because we knew we had Metal Men in Universe 7. We finally see one here. We see what looks like a Hit assassin type dude. I mean, there are guys here that, again, they look like their Universe 6 counterparts. So it allows a new introduction of new races and maybe even new planets to the Dragon Ball 7th Universe lore. And again, I must reiterate that the execution of this I thought was great. It really reminded me of something out of Batman, like Arkham Asylum gets broken into and the criminals escape. It really felt like that. Just very refreshing for Dragon Ball, very different, but again, a little bit questionable as to how Moro achieved this. And I think a lot of fans are disappointed in Moro's wish because they were probably expecting it to be a different villain, or he was going to get some kind of god destruction power. I saw hundreds of theories about what Moro's wish was, and I feel like for some fans it was underwhelming, but I mean, I have to say, it's actually kind of refreshing for me. I don't hate it. Granted, I see their point. I do wish it was something grander and with bigger scope. I liked reading it, and I can't lie about that. So Moro reveals to Vegeta that that is indeed his final wish, to free all the prisoners, and they all show up on planet New Namek to help Moro combat Goku, Vegeta, and Majin Buu. And again, I really like Toyotaro's art here. It's very dynamic, and I love the scene where they're all charging at Goku, Vegeta, and Buu. And there's a dude there in the upper right corner who looks quite a bit like Jiren. Obviously not as muscular as Jiren from what we can see in this picture, but it does look like Jiren. I wonder if that's supposed to be El Hermano. Probably not. So this is followed by some pretty cool little action scenes that Toyotaro drew in there of Vegeta and Goku taking on these multiple opponents, and I enjoyed it. But of course, these dudes, I mean, you can tell just by looking at them that they're pretty much just going to be jabronis. They're fodder. They're not anywhere close to being on the level of Goku and Vegeta. They're just like the putties from Power Rangers. And you would think that with how strong Goku and Vegeta are, they would make mincemeat out of these dudes. I mean, they were captured by the Galactic Patrol. That's nothing. But remember, Moro has a way of tipping the scales in his favor. So as Goku and Vegeta are fighting, they suddenly degrade down from blue to God. They go down to the previous form, and they're like, wait a minute, why are we in God form? Well, Moro is absorbing energy from the planet again. And he's taking their energy. And you see Goku literally de-evolve from Blue down to God down to SS3. And I like the way they did this because it really shows like the progression in reverse of what Moro can do to these guys, or I should say regression, not progression in reverse, regression, right? And they eventually end up back in their base forms, and even Buu, who was tired from fighting Moro in the previous few chapters, even he's getting torn up here. And we find out that Moro must only be absorbing energy from Goku and Vegeta, not the entire planet. And Jocko and Miros decide to step in and help out. So they decide that the time is now to retreat, but Vegeta wants no part of it. And that was kind of an interesting surprise to read. So Goku, Jocko, and Miros teleport away from the battle and Vegeta just flies away. So for the first time in a long time, Vegeta and Goku are split, and Vegeta ends up hijacking one of the prisoner ships, and he orders him at the end of this manga chapter by threatening him to go to planet Yardrat, and that is the big cliffhanger. Now, one thing I am very excited about here is the idea of Vegeta going to planet Yardrat. I don't think he's going to try to learn instantaneous movement. I don't think that's the plan here. I think there's another technique that the Yardrats know of that Vegeta could use. Now, the reason why Vegeta knows about Planet Yardrat is not just because Goku told him about it when he came back to Earth way back in DBZ. But if you remember, the Ginyu Force ships, one of the ones that Goku hijacked, all 5 of them were on a trajectory course for planet Yardrat. When Goku got in the ship and pushed the buttons, that just happened to be the planet they were going to next. So what were Frieza's plans with the Yardrats? What was he going to do? What was the Empire planning on doing? Taking their abilities, stealing them, enslaving them? We don't know, but we might actually find out. And that was one of the big mysteries of Dragon Ball Z that never really got answered. We just assumed it was like a takeover and he was going to sell the planet, which is what he does. But there could be more to it than that. There might be some kind of knowledge Vegeta knows. Then the question is, why haven't we seen him use this until now? Well, they haven't battled somebody quite like Moro until now, so that's your answer. But overall, decent manga chapter. I can see why it's polarizing. I didn't hate it or anything. It was fun to read. It wasn't the best chapter by all means, but I'm curious about where it goes with Vegeta and the Yardrats and Goku retreating. This arc is far from over. There were rumors that it's going to end with chapter 50, the arc. No. This thing, we got a lot more left based on what we're seeing here. I wonder where it's going to go. Thank you again for watching. Hope you have a great day. And if you enjoyed this video, check out these as well.